Our top story tonight, a hero story nearly 2 years in the making. A Twin Cities combat veteran jumping into action when he found himself caught up in a gunfight inside a packed St. Paul bar. The mass shooting inside 7th Street Truck Park killed an innocent person and left a dozen others injured. It happened in October of 2021.
And now for the first time, one of the heroes of that terrifying night sharing his story publicly. Paul Blume joining us. And Paul, the former St. Paul police chief, believes this guy's actions likely saved lives inside that crowded, chaotic bar.
Kelsey, Randy, this is Luca Lattergrass. He knows combat, having joined the military after 9/11 and serving as an Army medic overseas in Iraq. He claims it was that military training as well as some adrenaline that kicked in when gunfire erupted all around him.
For those two individuals, they had no regard for any human life that day.
In this bar surveillance video obtained by Fox 9, we will spot shadow the heroic acts of Luca Lattergrass as a gunfight erupts inside a packed 7th Street Truck Park in St. Paul nearly 2 years ago. Luca here in the white number 20 Vikings Jeff Gladney jersey. He's out with a group of football fans that October night when two men opened fire.
I think I kind of hesitated a little bit because also, my life's on the line. They're shooting right at each other. I was right there, near the gunshots, the initial gunshots.
In the chaos, as some in the crowd rush out the door and others hit the floor to protect themselves, Luca's military instincts kicked in.
It's to assess the situation to see where the immediate danger is coming from.
You can see him here crouching, scanning, and as soon as Luca got his opening, pouncing on one of the shooters. That's Terry Brown, and then beating Brown with blows to his head and upper body over and over and over again as others helped to get the gun away from Brown.
I felt a lot of anger in that moment, and I released every ounce of anger I had in me on him because he selfishly, put a lot of people at risk.
Tragically, in the gunfire, Markeisha Wiley was killed. Kiki, to those who knew and loved her, was out with her boyfriend and brother for a night of fun like so many others in the bar. Her life cut short at the age of 27. A dozen other innocent people were injured.
It was one of the most horrific moments of St. Paul's history.
Todd Axtell, the retired St. Paul police chief who was on the job that night, told me Monday, as he reflects back on what happened, he believes more people could have been hurt or even killed if not for the actions of Luca and a couple of others who risked their own lives to put an end to the shooting.
Luca took it upon himself to wait for that specific moment where he could do something to stop that carnage, and he did just that.
Last week, the second gunman involved in the deadly shootout, Devondre Phillips, was sentenced to nearly 29 years in prison. Brown is scheduled for sentencing in August. Meantime, Luca subsequently battled through post-traumatic stress and other issues from the mass shooting and his war experience. Sober 6 months, Luca tells me he's glad he could do his part, but shakes his head over the current state of humanity.
It gives me hope for, other people that are willing to risk their lives to help others. But again, it also is discouraging that we need people to be heroes in today's day, and when we shouldn't. We shouldn't have people shooting at each other in an event where there's, hundreds of people.
And you know what, guys? His heroism doesn't end right there with the gun being pulled away from Brown. He actually then let his medical, he was a medic combat, his training there kick in. He went back inside Truck Park and started tending to those injured that night.
Yeah, it's just all sort of just immediate. Again, like his military training kicking in, as he said.
And he, he acknowledges he was drinking that night, so his state, his head may not have been right in the right place, but it was something instinctual. And you could see him. He crouches, he scans, he assessed, and then he thought Brown had taken his final shot, and that's when he dove on him, and not just dove on him, continued to pound on him, and they got the gun away. And thankfully, no one else was injured. Obviously, the young woman was killed, but that could have been a lot worse, says Chief Axtell.
It's great to hear.
He's a true hero. We assign hero to a lot of things, but in this case, he's one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great story. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.